Hello, Chiefs fans, and welcome to Kingdom Corner. I'm your host, Danilo DiGiulio, aka ThunderDan88, on Facebook Gaming, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. Check me out. A lot of content out there. I'm also on FTFN, obviously, right here, right now, talking to you, and RGR Football. If you're not a member or you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the little bell notification to make sure you get updated stories if you want to hear more from us, me and Ryan and Dan Harms and all the people at RGR and FTFN. We'll keep you posted on what's going on around the league. This weekend has us coming off of a win against the Buffalo Bills, where we've established a pretty massive run game. It was the most runs ever in Andy Reid's history in a single game. The Chiefs went off for 245 yards. At one point, they had 8.5 yards per carry average, which is that happened. They finished with 5.8, which is impressive. And this is after signing Le'Veon Bell, but he didn't even dress for the game. This was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Darrell Williams, and Darwin Thompson even got in there. They all had positive yardage, and Patrick Mahomes got a few yards as well. I believe 36 on the night. But the Chiefs came away with a 26-17 win. My prediction was 28-17, so it's pretty close. I'll take the W. I don't care about those 2 points. We're going in this week into Denver. All right, division rival again. Unlike the Raiders, I don't think Denver is at the same level that the Las Vegas Raiders are right now. The Vegas Raiders were just waiting for Derek Carr to start throwing the ball downfield. Now that he has Henry Ruggs III, he's doing that a little more, and they look like they could be a more impressive offense to deal with. Denver, on the other hand, has some weapons returning. KJ Hamler, Noah Fant. I believe big old Albert O from Mizzou was there last week getting some reps, so he could be a problem. He's a big handful, and he's pretty fast. But I do trust our defense to take care of matters, especially if it's a snow game. If it gets a little messy, our boys are going to be flying around. I know that despite the results we had last week, that Tyrann Mathieu and some other guys weren't thrilled with their performance. Stephon Diggs got away a couple times. I don't think they cared for that too much. I was watching the game, and I'm thinking about going into this week against Denver, and how will the run game be different with the addition of Le'Veon Bell? Well, I predict that Clyde Edwards-Helaire will remain the starting running back. He's proven that he deserves the spot, but he's a diminutive guy size-wise compared to Le'Veon Bell and backs like that. Le'Veon is basically like the size of Larry Johnson, the catching ability of Brian Westbrook, the quickness of like a Priest Holmes, but he's also got his own thing where he can delay it. He's Le'Veon Bell. He's his own thing. Very impressive back. And I was thinking about it, and I was wondering, who does Clyde remind me of? And it dawned on me, I thought of the number 25, and the person that popped in my head, Charlie Garner. His running style is so similar to Charlie Garner. Go check the tape. Don't believe me. Go check Charlie Garner highlights, primarily when he was with the Eagles, the 49ers, and the Raiders. Just his catching ability out of the backfield, his shiftiness, his stop and go. Loves the spin move. Clyde's showing that he loves the spin move, and he puts it on and puts that foot in the ground hard cut, and launch upfield on guys very much like Charlie used to do. Clyde is a little bit shorter and a little bit stockier, but similar size guys, similar size skill set. Not breakaway speedster, either one of them, but still can get big chunk yardage if they catch defenders out of position. So I'm looking forward to seeing him with Le'Veon Bell mixed into the game. He adds a threat at the receiving position that most backs can't touch. He could basically line up at wide receiver and run routes at 6'1", 226, like AJ Brown, let's say, from Tennessee Titans. He's a similar build to that character. That's a big, thick dude to try to cover as a corner or a safety, and he's fast. And his run after the catch ability is on par with somebody like Sammy Watkins. But he'll stiff arm you into next week like a Jamal Anderson. So take your pick of your poison, which way you want to try to play him. The thing I'm loving about this is it's going to open up avenues for Travis Kelce to be covered by linebackers. That's not going to be a great situation for Denver. Travis Kelce against a linebacker is a win for the Kansas City Chiefs. But you can't afford to assign safeties and corners to him when you have backs like Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Le'Veon Bell, who can come out of the backfield and line up basically like a wide receiver and run splits and run four wides and stretch your defense. So I'm looking forward to see how they're utilized. I'm looking forward to see if we get the passing game going again deep. If it's a snow game, Typically, you expect more run the ball, pound the rock, Marty ball type of stuff. Look, last week was very much like a Marty ball. Marty Schottenheimer, bless his heart, wherever you are, Marty. I'm sure if you watched that game, he was loving it. It was just like, this is what he wanted all those years. The quarterback that scares the life out of the team across the field, but a running game that can punish you for not respecting it. They're never going to put 8 men in the box on a regular basis. If they do, it's suicide. Patrick Mahomes will carve him up like a Thanksgiving turkey. So it's going to be a really fun game to watch. There's going to be some interesting matchups. They don't have Von Miller out there. We played them twice last year with Von in the game and decimated them. The second time in the snow in Kansas City. This time it's in Denver. There's supposed to be snow. Will it be 7 to 11 inches? Will it be 3 to 7 inches? Will it be just a little bit of snow and cold? We don't know. But as Patrick said last year in Kansas City against Denver, I can sling it in anything. He can sling it in anything. Which surprised me last week was pretty wet. It had to be pretty wet because he was affected by the rain. Now that's the big equalizer. The rain, the mist on the ball, when it gets a little slippery or if it gets soggy and heavy, it gets difficult to throw. It affects most quarterbacks, some more than others. I believe it affected Josh Allen more than it affected Patrick last week. I'm not sure how it would affect Drew Lock. I don't know if I've seen him throw in the rain. I don't think I have. But this is snow. This is cold. We saw last year what Patrick was able to do in it. Drew wasn't too bad in it, but, we'll see how it goes this year. We'll see if he's improved any from their last outing against us with Drew at the helm. I'm looking forward to seeing the running game incorporate both Le'Veon and Darrell behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't know if Darwin's going to see any touches. I don't know if DeAndre Washington's even going to be dressing for this game. It'll be interesting to see who they bring up and who they sit down. I know Mitchell Schwartz is out. He's missing his first start in his 9-year career. So that's an unfortunate situation. That said, the linemen that we had in place last week, Daniel Kilgore at center, Nick Allegretti at guard, and Mike Remmers moved over from left guard to right tackle to cover for Mitchell Schwartz, and they did a commendable job. They drove that defense backwards pretty much at will. There were a couple of plays where, Buffalo was like, not on this down. And they asserted their will and they busted through and they broke up plays, but they couldn't do it with any regularity, and you saw the outcome. The Chiefs just poured it on in the run game. With Bradley Chubb and Shelby Harris and guys like that, I don't know that it's going to be quite so easy to run on them. I believe there's something like the 6th-ranked defense in the league, so they're going to be a challenge. They always are. They hate, there's a rivalry between them and the Chiefs that goes back for a decade now. As I said on previous broadcasts, the last 10 years, those two teams, Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos, have split AFC West titles. Kansas City winning 4 of the last 10. The last 4 in a row, going for 5 this year. So there's an animosity there. There's a rivalry there that's more like what the Raiders and Chiefs used to be back in the day. We'll see if the Raiders get back into it. We'll see if the Chargers get into it. I'm really curious to see how that goes with Justin Herbert developing the way he is. They could be a force to be reckoned with going forward. But we're on to Denver right now. We're going to be going up to Mile High. It'll be interesting. Patrick mentioned, not sure how they're going to do was it Patrick or Travis? One of them. I watched so many videos this week of players talking about the game, how they're going to handle oxygen on the side. Oh, it's Travis, because we're asking him on the Rich Eisen show. Kudos to Rich for asking the question about handling the lack of oxygen. Does it affect him, and as it does some other players? It'll be interesting to see because the oxygen, typically they just have masks hanging on cans, and you can't very well have every player putting the same mask over their mouth. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle that in the thin air of Denver. But I expect to see the Chiefs go up there and win handily. I expect let's call it a 37-14 win for Kansas City. Thinking 37-10, but we'll say 37-14 because they got Lindsey back last week and he looked effective. They put it on the Patriots pretty solid last week, so I don't want to undercut them too much. I just think the Chiefs are too much for them right now. I do expect a double-digit win. Some people expect it to be a close one. I expect it to at least be a 10-point win, but I'm going to say 37-14. And I expect the Chiefs to come out with a handy win, and I hope that sets them up for things going forward. Maybe expect to see Le'Veon Bell touch the ball 10 to 12 times, maybe carry it 7 or 8, and have some catches out of the backfield. Unless he gets hot and gets rolling and we get out ahead. I mean, if we get out ahead, why not sit Clyde Edwards-Helaire? Why not let Bell get some touches and get into game action? I'm sure his conditioning is pretty solid right now. He did just come from the Jets. He wasn't sitting at home getting fat. He was practicing and getting some reps on the field, but just waiting for a chance to. And I mean, a guy like that with that level of talent and experience and expertise and accomplishment, you got to know he's hungry to play. He's hungry to prove himself. He wants to prove it to everybody in the league this weekend. He doesn't want to wait till the whole season's finished and say, look what he's going to go number one with a bullet day one. Here I am in Kansas City. Even if he gets 5 touches, he could have 30, 40 yards. We'll see what happens. But I'm looking forward to seeing him in the pass protection game as well. He's good at sticking people and stopping them from getting to the quarterback if he's needed that way. Or if he releases out of the backfield, look out. With the way Kansas City's offensive line is played and Le'Veon Bell getting set up for this, and he's the master of the screen game. And Clyde's playing that way as well. Like I said, much like Charlie Garner, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope there's at least 4 or 5 plays with both of them on the field. And I wondered to myself, I don't know if he can even throw, but I wondered to myself, would this be a week maybe if we got up by 10, would Andy and Eric call a halfback option pass from Clyde Edwards-Helaire to Le'Veon Bell coming across the middle, or Travis or somebody? I'd love to see Clyde throw the football if he can. I don't know if he can. If he can't, then don't. Let's just not even go. We don't want to go down that road. We saw what happened with I think it was the Texans. No, the Jaguars a couple weeks ago. But yeah, no, I'd like to see that if he's able to do that. But like I said, look for about a 37-14 win for the Chiefs. Go Chiefs. If you're, like I said, not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, mash that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on any of our articles. Check everything out that the guys put out there. It's really good stuff on RGR Football and FTFN. Till then, go Chiefs.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.